the summer wore on, workers in agriculture and industry, in all the fields of national life, continued with their jobs on the assumption that the peace obtained in May would endure. The handiwork of the Slovak peasants, brilliant with color, was a folk industry which had never decayed. Forests of the Ruthenian Ukraine in the east of Czechoslovakia continued to supply their timber. This too was a fertile area marked out for conquest by Hitler in Mein Kampf. Factories everywhere were busy. Botchers' highly mechanized shoe works prospered. At Pilsen, in the western end of the country, the great Skoda armament plant kept going at full blast. Skoda was by this year second only to Krupp among European producers of arms and munitions of war. It made enough war material not only to equip the whole Czechoslovak army, but to supply 40 divisions of any Allied army. Control of this munitions output was an important element in the calculations of the Führer of Germany. Solidarity camp for Czech and German children had a good time this summer too. This was a big day in the camp because Vaskovets and Berik, the favorite comedians, were expected on one of their visits. Mirka was a camp counselor here. All the children, German and Czech, could sing the songs of Vaskovets and Berik. This pair occupied a very special place in Czechoslovakia and could popularize a song or a slogan in a few days. They were idols of the public, and their political satire was exactly suited to a people living perpetually under a threat. The children knew their repertoire nearly as well as the comedians themselves did, especially the new song for defense of the country, which Vaskovets and Berik called Against the Storm. The storm, of course, being Nazi Germany.
Slíbili jsme vám, že vám přijdeme zaspívat, tak tady nás máte. Nic vám nevadí, že jste tu pohromadě s jinými národnostmi naší republiky. Žijete si tu v míru a vesele a ještě vám zbude čas myslet na trpící děti ve Španělsku a v Číně. A právě tak jako čínský a španělský lid, ani my Čechoslováci nehodláme vydat svou zemi generálům, kteří tvrdí, že kanony jsou důležitější než máslo. Tam na druhé straně hranic učí své děti, že válka je vznešená a učí je nenávidět děti jiných ras. My v Československu si tohle namluvit nedáme. Celý svět si myslel, že nepřemožitelný nepřítel nás smete. A co se stalo? Vaši otcové a vaši bratři vzali pušky do rukou a nepřítel couvnul. To byl první krok, první metr, který jsme urazili proti proudu a proti větru násilí. A takových kroků a takových metrů urazíme ještě tisíce a tisíce. Když nás ujdou miliony, všichni proti větru, každý ujde, metr, dáme metru, kde je síla pátečníků, kde je síla větru, proti proudu postoupíme od kilometru. Až nás ujdou miliony, všichni proti větru, každý ujde, dáme metru, kde je síla pátečníků, kde je síla větru, proti proudu postoupíme od kilometru.
Dieses Land und dieses Volk kommt nicht zum Reich in einer demütigenden Rolle. Ich selber führe euch ein. Deutschland, Sieg heil!
Lord Runciman, of course, had come to Czechoslovakia in midsummer to mediate between the Czechoslovak Republic and its Nazi German citizens. But this order was quick to come after Hitler's speech at Nuremberg on September 12th. The Nazi young men had been thoroughly organized for violence and were only waiting for Hitler's signal. The melancholy lines of refugees formed again. New refugees now, from sections of Czechoslovakia itself. Czechs, Germans, and Jews, driven from their homes in the Bohemian frontier villages by Nazi terror. The victims of another Anschluss, which was not yet complete. In German frontier towns facing Czechoslovakia, the Nazi organizations staged violent meetings. The fascist agitators openly called for the overthrow of the Czech state. These demonstrations of German force incited the most desperate of Henlein stormtroopers in Sudetenland to do their fascist duty in night after night of terror.